Drag racing fan, Monday morning racer, right here with you in studio. Let me knock out some of that audio. Don't need that. All right, there we go. Great show lined up for you all tonight. Looking forward to it. As many of you know, I like to advertise the show as the most diverse drag racing talk show out there. And I believe we are definitely going to be living up to that once again tonight with this show. PDRA champion in Extreme Pro Stock, Chris Powers. He will be on later around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have him on. We'll talk about the championship run. Looking forward to that. We had him on earlier after one of his wins this season. So we're going to talk to him about the season, about the championship win, and I'm definitely curious how much Tums he has crammed over the last several weeks and if he has any. And then we've got Ken Singleton. Looking forward to that. I have never actually talked to Ken, far as I can recollect, but I thoroughly enjoy the Funny Car Chaos gang. Looking forward to having Ken Singleton on. He is the champion of Funny Car Chaos for 2021. But before we get to all of those guests tonight, later on with yours truly, the Monday Morning Racer, be sure to like the broadcast on whatever platform you're watching and hit the share button definitely on Facebook. Let me hear from you. Go ahead and comment. Thank you all that have already commented, such as Braden. Man, good to see you. Thank you for watching. Field chimes is popcorn made. Let's get to it. All right. Hey, looking forward to having a great show tonight. Watching, listening, and driving. Good job, brother. Hey, Jay, you keep up the good work, folks. NC Pro Modder, Jay Warren. Give him a like on Facebook. Some great live streams that he puts on for the Northeast Outlawed Pro Mod Association, testing for the PDRA and the Big Dog Series. I believe that's at Piedmont and elsewhere. Make sure you give his Facebook page and YouTube channel, all NC Pro Modder, a like. If you're able to do it, Jay, feel free to drop a link into the comment section. Drag Racing Central. Hello to you. And Braden says, happy to get the Mad Dog win and trophy for MMR 2 weeks ago. Braden says, what are you talking about? So Braden is up there in Canada, and he does demolition derbies and gave a little bit of funds, helped him to get to one, and he put the name on the car, Monday Morning Racer, and he was able to get the Mad Dog trophy, which, if I'm not mistaken, the Mad Dog trophy goes to the individual like a mad dog running around whacking everybody, and was the most enthusiastic demo driver, you could say. Terry Kraft chiming in. That's Mom. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom. And so Randy, great question for where are you going this weekend, Jay? Jay chimes in and says, Thunder Valley Red Springs, North Carolina, 20,000 a win invitational race Saturday night, Friday night, race your way in. So folks, check that one out for sure. Rob, he chimes in, and Sam chimes in. You have Chris Marshall on here with his alcohol funny car. Maybe, we do, or he is watching, or checking it out. Whichever way, maybe we need to have him on sometime. Like to have anybody from the world of drag racing right here on Between the Slicks and Beyond. Like we had Stevie Ray, the wrestler, on one time. Huge drag racing fan, and chatted with him. All right, let's get down to it. Let's start out the conversation tonight. Thank you all for chiming in. I want to hear from you. I want you to put it in the comments section, from YouTube, from Twitter, from Facebook. Who do you think should win the 2021 Rookie of the Year? And let me take my logo off really quickly so you can see up there who all is in the running. So you have the likes of Buddy Hull, Joe Morrison, Rob Tucker. You've got Chad Green. You've got Krista Baldwin. You got Artie Allen, Bobby Bodie down there. But if you notice to the bottom left, those are the two of the most note. That would be Dallas Glenn to the left and Josh Hart here to the right. Dallas Glenn representing Pro Stock. Josh Hart representing Top Fuel. And in NHRA drag racing, you have to understand that the Rookie of the Year vote goes to one individual over all the pro classes. So you would be talking about Funny Car, Top Fuel, Pro Stock Motorcycle. I don't think we actually have had anybody enter themselves to be eligible in Pro Stock Motorcycle. We've got people representing Funny Car, we have people representing Top Fuel, and we have people representing Pro Stock. First, it would be challenging. This is one of those years where I wish we definitely had an award to give per class. I think no matter who wins, maybe it is becoming of the classes individually to say, all right, maybe you did not win the overall award, but you are our Top Fuel Rookie of the Year. You are the Funny Car Rookie of the Year, so on and so on into each and every pro category along with the overall winner. That would have to be something taken upon the classes themselves. And you would probably see it in the case of Pro Stock and Pro Stock Motorcycle more than the fuel classes. Here's the deal. The fuel classes do get a bias towards them. They are the most popular. They're the ones that provide the most sensory overload. They have within them the king of the sports, you could say, in the Top Fuel dragsters. When people think of drag racing, oftentimes, what are they going to mention? The long car with wings and big tires, and they're describing a Top Fuel dragster. It's synonymous with drag racing. But it definitely, no matter who wins this year, and obviously the front runners are Dallas Glenn and Josh Hart, it is going to be a shame that we have a loser with all that they have accomplished. And I see you all commenting, and we're going to go through those comments in just a moment. But I want to read to you the criteria. Yes, there are parameters on who should win the NHRA Rookie of the Year for 2021 and for any year, in fact. And I'm reading this directly from the email from Vice President of the NHRA. With saying that, let me also say, wow, how far it's come from myself, in that last year I would not have been on the email list, period. And here I am this year, and I'm able to tell you and able to have this debate and have this talk and have a input in a actual vote for Rookie of the Year in the NHRA. That's pretty cool. Here's what it reads. The criteria is this: number of events competed in, performance on and off the track, participation in NHRA promotionals, and relationships with fans, sponsors, and media. That's the criteria. Let's break it down. Number of events completed in. Well, that certainly has got to go into it. In fact, depending on how many events you've competed in, you can actually run a certain amount of events, I think it's 4 and under, and actually not run for Rookie of the Year and come around the next year and run for Rookie of the Year having more events. For example, Joe Morrison did that. And by the way, yes, I know Joe's not going to win Rookie of the Year, but shout out to Joe Morrison. The man has worked his tail off to bring the partners in that he has. And the Leverage Top Fuel team has qualified for every event they showed up to. And mind you, not all of those events were events that there were just 14 or 15 cars. No, they had to qualify for many of those events and make it in, and they did it with Joe Morrison at the helm and the partners he was able to bring. So kudos to you, sir. But it's a number of events competed in, performance on and off the track. So that is to say, performance, obviously, round wins, reaction time, your peers. Who do they think of you as a driver? Do they count you as an individual that's safe in the other lane? Those type of things. And then off the track. We just heard the news yesterday of an individual in the world of NASCAR being suspended indefinitely because he was charged with criminal acts. You don't want anybody representing your sport that is a criminal or has done things suspiciously off the track or has a reputation of being a crook. You don't want that. You want someone that has a good reputation off the track. Participation in NHRA promotional events, such as the Fan Fest, for example. Also, the relationship with fans, sponsors, and media. Are they always in the trailer? Are they outside signing autographs? Do they interact with people? How are they in those interactions? When they're walking down pit lane, do they communicate with fans or do they blow them off? Are they bringing in new sponsors to the sport? Are they representing those sponsors well? Are they talking to the media? Are they coming onto shows like Between the Slicks and the Competition Plus Power Hour, the West Buck Show? Are they going on Joe Costello's show, WFO Radio? What are they doing? Are they doing those type of things? All of that comes together. Let me go to your comments on this, and then I'm going to give you my side and what I think. All right. Drag Racing Central says Josh Hart, 110%. Sam says Dallas. Stan says Josh Hart. Waterbug 85, that would be Justin Ashley won last year. Both Josh and Dallas deserve it. Obviously, I have to agree with you there. I have to agree with you. Stan says one is enough. I think one overall, yes, but it's a shame that the classes, they need to step up and just say, hey, this was our guy. This was our gal within the classes themselves. Have Josh Hart and Joey Haas split it. There you go. There you go. Hey, shout out to Joey. What a phenomenal run he had there at Denver on the mountain. And let's see. Let me find any other. So, Michael, what about Nitro Funny Car class or Fuel Funny Car? They do have representation, but they're not in the running or the talk on their performance. Bobby Bodie, Chad Green, they would be the examples within that class. They just haven't had the performance and just really not enough events compared to the front runners, which are Dallas Glenn and Josh Hart. Drag Racing Central says, on Dallas Glenn's, the rent-a-ride system in Pro Stock makes it much easier to go out and win. Josh Hart is doing it in Top Fuel and being successful. I think I'm going to hinge off of that just in a moment. Didn't you say recently, Lee, you have a vote in? Yes, I do. I do this year have a vote, and I will be putting my vote in. Let me hinge off what Drag Racing Central says here. And he makes, I think, a valid point. Dallas Glenn's, the rent-a-ride system in Pro Stock makes it much easier to go out and win. Josh Hart is doing it in Top Fuel and being successful. Well, let's balance that. In Top Fuel, if you are a successful businessman, you have the money, you have the funds, and you have the partners, it's not hard to go out there and get good parts and pieces because essentially everybody's running the same thing. You may have the rent-a-ride system in Pro Stock, but you also have the availability to buy the same good stuff that Capco and DSR and any of the other teams are running, because we're basically talking about Alan Johnson Performing Engineering or Don Schumacher Machining. That's who's supplying it. There's no excuse for not having good parts except for the dollar factor. I think that can be a balancing act there. And then, even though you may rent a ride, a top ride in Pro Stock, you still got to drive it. And Dallas has proven that he is a capable driver behind the wheel with perfect reaction times, low reaction times, and beating some of the top people who have ever participated in Pro Stock overall. We're talking about in his rookie year, he's getting it done amongst the names such as Erica Enders and Greg Anderson. And mind you, that's the most winningest Pro Stock driver that there is. I think right now, when you start when you start adding everything up, Josh Hart has won. Dallas Glenn has won. You have them bringing in new sponsors to the sport. I don't recall Rad Torque Wrenches being in the sport until you have Dallas Glenn bringing them on. And remember, that was supposed to be a part-time deal. He wasn't supposed to run the entire year, but they liked him so much. They looked at his performance. They looked at the marketability there and said, you know what? We're going to stick with this kid for the rest of the year and into 2022. Josh Hart brings in RL Carriers. He's made sponsor appearances. He's helped them in recruiting people to come and work for RL Carriers, and then represents also his own business with that hot rod shop, the speed shop that he has, and TechNet Professional as well. So they're doing it concerning performance. They've won. They've gone to final rounds. They've gone to semifinals. They have been great on lights, both of them. They've done it in media. I've seen them both on shows. I had Dallas on the Competition Plus Power Hour before. I've had Josh Hart on the Competition Plus Power Hour. Seen them on WFO Joe's show. I've seen Dallas on Wes Buck's show, if I remember correctly. So they're talking to the media. They're talking to sponsors. I do know that they have talked to fans, and they seem to have good relationships there. It is almost a neck-to-neck race, ladies and gentlemen. And mind you, from Sadie Glenn, Dallas Glenn's wife, who also runs his PR, she has a company called SRN Driven Media. She recognizes that there is that kind of bias towards fuel. So with that being said, she does think, hey, you know what? I think my boy needs to win out to really seal the deal. Mind you, the vote ends November 8th. That's the deadline. So Dallas really needs to go out there and win Las Vegas. I want to say this, and I think, and I'm going to give kind of I have not decided yet. I've got till November 8th. I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to keep watching. The first one in the criteria is number of events. Number of events. Right now, who's running for a championship possibly? It's a long shot right now as it is, but it's still mathematically out there. That's Dallas Glenn. And he has more rounds, more events, and did the full schedule of 18 Pro Stock races. I think that might be the very tipping point towards him. We'll see. We'll see. They both deserve it, as Sam mentioned earlier. Let's move on from the discussion of the 2021 Rookie of the Year in NHRA. What a great, folks, before I do go further, let me say, what a great run we have in NHRA right now. Look at the competition in Funny Car. Look at the competition in Pro Stock Motorcycle, and really across the board, but those two classes in particular, especially Funny Car. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a points lead separated by 1 point. 1 point. And then we have this great race between two young racers who may very well continue to lead the sport into the future in Dallas Glenn and Josh Hart. That is good news overall, no matter who wins it and who wins in those particular categories as mentioned. In news, I do want to mention we're going to get to some schedule talk in a moment, but I thought this was big news. National Race Series headed to Rockingham Dragway. When was the last time you heard Rockingham Dragway in the news and in the news for anything good? Well, here's some good news concerning Rockingham Dragway. They are going to have next year, April 22nd through the 24th, as the pilot reports, a NMRA NMCA national event. So, owner Steve Irwood has put this deal together. And I also want you to know with this news, there is other good news. Steve will no longer be the owner in the future. He has sold it, Rockingham Dragway, but it is sold to those who intend to keep it a racing facility, and it is expected that ownership is fully submitted by the end of October in 2022. So good news for Rockingham that there's going to be new owners to continue its life as a racing facility, and it is getting a NMRA NMCA national event at the track. That's good news. That is good news. It's already been mentioned in the comments, and let me bring it up that Doug Core says here, Funny Car Chaos announced today that they are coming to Baton Rouge, Louisiana in April at State Capitol Dragway. It's not the same as in the Cajun National Days, but hopefully it will be a great show. Doug, you are absolutely correct. And even though there has not been a full Funny Car Chaos schedule release, we can start cobbling together what the schedule is going to look like. The first event, the Funny Car Classic, or as it was known last year, or this year rather, the Nitro Madness event, now the Funny Car Classic, March 24th through the 26th, 2022 at the Texas Motorplex. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one that you do not want to miss. This is the one this most recent season that you had like 70 funny cars. Well, they plan on doing it again, kicking it off right. No telling who will be at the Motorplex March 24th through 26th. I definitely plan on being there. I'm looking forward to being back. I'm looking forward to seeing 70 plus more funny cars battling it out. And yes, let me go ahead and say, it is a 8th mile running series, but that does not take away from the competitiveness or the show that is Funny Car Chaos. This most recent season, this last event, Nitro Madness, this big funny car event that's now being called the Funny Car Classic at the Texas Motorplex. This year, you can see the footage on my YouTube channel. I've got eliminations of the entire event up. You thought you would have put all your chips on Dale Worsham to win that A field. Goes into the final, does the burnout. The car will not back up. He's got to give it a little vert to get it into reverse. And when he did that, I said, that's enough. That's enough right there. And sure enough, he fires off. He's got to pedal it. What happens? Kyle Smith in the other lane, and the alcohol funny car beat the Big Show Nitro car in the final round. That is what makes Funny Car Chaos so great. It is truly run what you brung. If you want to bring a turbo funny car, bring it. You want to bring a nitrous funny car, bring it. You want to bring a supercharged nitro Big Show funny car, bring it. You want to bring a nitro nostalgia funny car, bring it. You want to bring a big time NHRA regional regional winning, national event winning alcohol funny car, bring it. Bring it, whatever it is, as long as it's a funny car, and race it. And that is what is cool to see. And it is amazing on the 8th mile, even though you were like, oh, the Nitro is going to win every time. No, it does not happen. It is fascinating, and it is a wonderful thing to see. They have announced, as Doug mentioned, and let me bring up the image, that they are, yes, going back to State Capitol Raceway. Chaos Cajun Nationals. You can remember the Cajun Nationals of old in NHRA days. My mom and dad were at one before I was born. They said it was so hot that, I don't know how they did it back in the day. But this is going to be like one of the first times State Capitol Raceway has seen nitro of any kind come back and race at that facility. That is going to happen April 8th through the 9th. It is in effect after the Funny Car Classic at the Texas Motorplex, a big, huge announcement for Funny Car Chaos. And then we also can learn they have another event July 29th, 30th, and July 29th. That's somebody's birthday. Yours truly. Maybe I can go enjoy chaos on my birthday on July 29th. But Adeyville Raceway Park, a gem of a racing facility out there in Iowa. They will host Funny Car Chaos July 29th through the 30th. So from what I understand, it will again be a 8-event season for Funny Car Chaos, and we already have 3 places and 3 dates. So we're looking for 5 more to come out soon, hopefully soon, from Chris Graves. And what a great job Chris Graves is doing with the Funny Car Chaos game. It is spectacular to see what they're doing. In some other schedule news, we had the PDRA announce their schedule for next year, and really no changes compared to what it was this year. And that's good news. That's good news. We're looking at Galat in North Carolina, Bowling Green there in Kentucky, Norwalk in Ohio. We've got Maryland, Virginia Motorsports Park in Virginia, Reading there in Pennsylvania, back to North Carolina for Galat, and ending the season in their final race at Virginia. In essence, the same schedule. Good to have these great caliber of tracks on the PDR schedule once again, and to see the PDRA doing such a good job. And we'll be talking to the Extreme Pro Stock champion in just a few moments. Let's go into the comment section. Let's see what else you all were saying as I was rambling on about Rockingham, the Rookie of the Year, and the schedule news that we have got so far. Drag Racing Central says, Josh, whole shot heart. He's been doing a great job on the lights. Look, it is amazing to me. No longer can you be a Top Fuel or Funny Car driver, especially right now for whatever reason in Top Fuel, and get an 080 light and expect to win. No. You need to be at least 060. You've got guys out there cutting 050s, 040s, 030s regularly. Like Josh, Sean Langdon, Justin Ashley. And yes, though a lot of folks don't want to mention it, they just don't want to recognize it for whatever reason, Steve Torrance can get up on the wheel and cut a light when it is necessary. He doesn't just have a good team. He has a stellar team, but he is also a good driver. Many do not want to admit that. Your masked friend says, keep grinding, bro. Seen you at Maple Grove in Virginia at the shootout for PDRA. Thank you, man. I will keep grinding and keep on keeping on. I'm saying that to you. Thank you from your shaded friend. Drag Racing Central. But Lee, NHRA, it's done. Not gonna make it. That's right, Drag Racing Central. The NHRA Camping World Professional Series, Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock Motorcycle, Pro Ma, it's all dead. I shouldn't even talk about it. There is so much more to talk about. Drag racing is so diverse. It's wonderful how many sanctioning bodies and types of drag racing we can talk about. But yeah, NHRA is dead. NHRA is dead. Drag Racing Central loves to be facetious and mention that. Folks, look, the NHRA has a target on its back continually. Why? Because it's the top. It's top of the mountain. It sets the bar for drag racing. It does. And you honestly should desire for the NHRA to succeed. Now, that doesn't mean that we just bow to NHRA and say NHRA's got it right every time. No, look, this timing system issue, they need to get it worked out. And not only do they need to get it worked out, they need to get it worked out now, and they need to be transparent about it, and they need to have backup to the backup, because we're talking about a sport that has 4 qualifying sessions normally, and at your biggest race, like 5 qualifying sessions, you put a huge emphasis on qualifying. It is like the actual first round of elimination before you ever get to eliminations. You need to have the times right. And you're also giving out bonus points to lowest ET and number 1 qualifier and types of those things in each and every session. Figure it out. And when you have figured it out, come out with how you have figured out what was happening and what you will do about it and be transparent. I don't know about you, but I think we live in a day and time we want our politicians, we want our sports, we want our coaches, we want our administrations, we want people to be transparent, and we want the truth. It's not that hard to do that. Get it done, NHRA. Braden, well, generally, in my opinion, the NHRA should have more viewers than NASCAR. It's a more intense show for how close the EETs are. I think there's been great racing this year, and for sure, I wish there was more of an audience. Granted, they are working on that, and we had the most viewed drag race ever with like 2.2 million viewers earlier this year. And that was great. Phil chiming in about Nitro Madness was awesome last year. I may even haul my junk all that way next year. All right, Phil. Hey, we look forward to seeing you back at the Texas Motorplex. Doug says, I'll see you in Ennis, excuse me. Yes, sir, you should, definitely. Drag Racing Central, I will be going back to PDRA at Maple Grove. Glad you caught that, and I know you had a good time, and glad you plan on catching it again. Colin says, hi. Hello, sir. All right, folks, we are going to take a break. And then we're going to have Chris Powers come on the show. We'll talk to him about his championship run here in 2021 in Extreme Pro Stock. So, Chris, I know you're back there in studio. Get ready, because you are on next right here on Between the Slicks on Monday Morning Racer. So, folks, as I find the commercial spot, be sure to hit the like button and hit the share button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Monday Morning Racer. Chris Powers, right after this word, well, for myself. Yes, you can now get Monday Morning Racer swag. Shop SpeedShark.com, Team SpeedShark. They can hook you up with Monday Morning Racer apparel. Not only Monday Morning Racer apparel, we're talking about apparel for Johnny Placino, Camry Caruso, Frankie the Madman Taylor, and more to come soon. Check them out at shopspeedshark.com or at your next race at the Speed Shark trailer. All right, Chris Powers. Oh, there he is. Chris, how's it going tonight?
It's going good.
Good, man. Good. I know earlier you were talking about you're already tired. You've been working hard. So already been working for the 2022 campaign. Another championship, you think?
Oh, there's no need to jump ahead. We'll take it one race at a time.
One race at a time. Hey, let it soak in. Let it enjoy the win. You know, I asked Jim Halsey after his three in a row, and Jim isn't one for like long answers. I've basically come to understand I need to like set up a joke and let him deliver the punchline. But I asked him, hey, you've done all of this. When is the team going to Disney World? And he's like, oh, no, we're not doing that. We're going to Florida for testing. I'm like, no stopping. Come on, man. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, you know, we're definitely going to go down there and have some fun at Disney World. So we'll probably go test, but then we'll run over there in the evening.
All right. So do the Mountain Motor guys, the Extreme Pro Stock guys, do y'all have competition down there at Bradenton for the snowbirds, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to get down there and race a little bit, but, you know, I don't know what the group's going to do. If we're going to go down and race in February or something, that'd be pretty cool. But, I mean, we'll be down there testing a lot over the winter with the new car, just trying to make sure the car's ready to go. We sold the other car, so now we gotta get the new car ready.
Oh, okay, great news. Because I know, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but you debuted the new car, and there were some issues with it, so you didn't run the new car. And now the one in which you've won the championship with, it's out the door, and you've got to go with the new car, sounds like. So what are some things you got to work out?
I mean, we tested it a lot for a few days, and we had some electronic issues in the car. Other than that, the car came around. It just took 6 or 7 runs to get situated and figure out what was going on with the computer stuff. And after we got that, I mean, we made some decent runs. So we'll work on it more. I mean, we don't want to be a mid-pack car, so we need to work on the car to, you know, run up front like this car does. So it'll be a tall order to get it ready, but I'm confident with Chuck and Rob, they'll get it figured out pretty quick.
Well, obviously, I think you and your team are definitely capable of doing it. You've proved that with winning the 2021 championship. Congratulations once again. Had you on earlier this year, around the time in which I was in Las Vegas for the NHRA national event for their 4-wide, which was way back. It was like after the first or second event for PDRA. And you said that you were hungry. You said that in 2019, you didn't have the focus you felt like you should have. You were wanting this championship. You were hungry for it, and you knew you and your team was capable of getting the job done. Well, we sit here after you accomplishing the goal of winning a championship, proving all the naysayers wrong. How's it feel? Describe it to us.
Oh, that's definitely the biggest thing. All the naysayers and the haters proving them wrong. So I just stayed quiet all year, and we just dug deep. And I threw that tribute out to Sonny right in the beginning that this is for him, and we're going to do whatever it takes. So, and that's what we set out to do. I mean, we've really worked hard. We struggled at Galot in the fall race, which we didn't expect to at all, and just didn't work out there for us. So we definitely had to pick it up when we got to Virginia, and we just continued down the path. I mean, we were swapping motors at races and working on things, honestly, for 2022, trying to figure out where we stand and, what we got in the pen sitting boxed up to see what we're going to do with it.
Well, let's talk about the season, because it looked like you and your team had a moment where y'all might just walk away with it, where nobody was going to be able to touch Chris Powers and the team. Then Johnny fires back a little bit, eats into a points lead slightly, and then J.R. Carr finally got out of the funk he was in, and things turned on for his team. And with all the number one qualifying points, kept him in the game. Then he starts winning. And then you and Johnny decide to start having issues and not going all the way in some events, and made it very interesting going into Virginia. So what, in your estimation, for you in particular, happened to allow Johnny and J.R. Carr to go into Virginia with that opportunity to snag the championship away from you?
We just started working on the new car and working on new engine programs. And, with tire issues, the car just wasn't happy. And we were really trying to dig for 2022. And we figured, if we got good stuff, we'll continue to build with it. And it set us back a little bit. I mean, it definitely reeled some guys in, with Carr. And, Carr runs good, and Johnny does too. And we decided when we got to Virginia, we stuck back in our other motor again, and it was a little bit iffy when we got there, but we talked and we knew we had good stuff, and I've relaxed down as a driver, and told them that you just give me the car we need, and I'll do the work on the track. So we did, but it was definitely I tried to keep it out of my mind. I had my mind set on the 3-second zone all year. So no matter what was transpiring with points, I didn't pay attention and kept my mindset somewhere else. And even until Virginia, I tried not to put any pressure to myself and not worry about it. I figured if I just go in and do what we've done at every race, it'll take care of itself. And that's pretty much what we did.
Well, y'all did. Y'all took care of business, and it was a great championship battle to see. I had been saying all year that it was not going to go into Virginia like last year and be sewed up. I knew it was going to be a good fight between yourself. I figured Johnny would be there. I figured J.R. Carr would be there. So all the players did come together, even though at one point it looked like it was going to be a Johnny versus Chris particular type of battle. And with you winning it, you're the champion in Extreme Pro Stock, champion for Mount Motor and 8th Mile configuration, which there is not anything beyond exhibition right now in the quarter mile. We'll say that you are kind of the spokesman of the class, whether you want to be or not. You're on top of the mountain. You've got the crown on top of your head. Where do you think the class sits right now with car count and opportunity? And wow, John firing off the 4000.
I mean, it'd be nice to see more cars. I don't know what they're going to do with the NHRA thing, and that's kind of why we didn't show up, and do anything over there this year. And until they make it a class, it's hard to go over there and wear out my parts and beat up the cars, and that's kind of why we didn't go. Plus, we had the other cars, so we weren't going to go over there and tear up equipment. But I think the class is in a good direction. We got Reese that came out with the Mustang, which is great to see him. And now you got Gillick that come out, which is a great driver. We need a few more. It's hard to have two separate places. It appears that, the ADRL thing is kind of gone, like it's over with. So I think all the focus is with PDRA, and all the guys just got to stay positive and help build it over there. I mean, I know there's a lot of guys that complain about the 8th mile, but I think for now that's the best thing for the class. Maybe we could do something at Virginia, with this summer race. Maybe we can run the cars at a 1/4 mile, our class only, just to give that big show and speed that some of the fans and stuff are looking for. But you got to get everybody on board, and that's the problem. You just can't get all the drivers to agree. It's kind of like a posse thing. You got some that are on this side and some on the other, but all in all, I think the class is moving in the right direction. We just need the rest of the cars to participate. We really need to get, 18, 19 cars to show up. It's tough when you got 13, 12, 14 cars, because it's an all run field, and that there's always buy runs. And we need to avoid that, and get away from that program and try to, make it where qualifying counts. Because right now it does, but it doesn't, because you're guaranteed a spot. So I think some things there really need to change and make it, the people's effort and the crew worth it, for qualifying.
What do you think on the performance level of the cars? The top runners, it was all very close. John comes in and runs very quick and very fast. You're running very quick and very fast. Johnny and JR, we know that people are still looking for that 3.999. Conditions have to be so right for it to happen. Are things tapped out in the 8th mile for these cars? Are we right there at that envelope, that edge, that window, and we're not going to see anything new until we finally do get that 3, if ever?
Yeah, the 3 seconds way harder than what people think. I've been saying that. It's not, you're just going to go out there and pull it out. The Virginia, the conditions there were the same as when we went 4 flat. And, the problem was later in the evening when you thought it would get better, the dew set in, track got worse. So, our mindset changed at that rate. It was not going to happen, and there was no point to throw anything away, and just decided to keep moving through the rounds. But, you got 5 or 6 cars that are flying, and, then you got the other ones that are capable and have proven they can run up front. They just haven't had the consistency. And, it's tough. There's some things they could adjust to compensate that, but I think the 3-second thing, it'll happen eventually. It's just going to take everything to do it. And John had the opportunity right there in round 1 or round 2. That was it. Those were the rounds where everything was right, and the air just needed to be a little bit better or a little more power. But there's not much left in these motors. You got what you got. And, I think that's why it's a big thing with checking these cars and starting to do a little more feeling around on them and making sure everybody's staying honest, because everybody's at the wall. There's nothing left in the tank. You're going to have to make a dynamite run to do it. And, I applaud PDRA for stepping up and starting to check the cars. They need to, because, it's good for the class, and it just keeps everybody on the same page.
Speaking of, as you said, in the tank, about 3 races left in the PDRA season, or maybe just 2. I can't remember when it came on the scene, but you all were not adding fuel to your cars until you got to the staging lanes, from what I understand. I did not get to see the process because I'm in the stands filming for Pro Nitrous and Pro Boost. But why did that come about? What was happening procedurally? How did you warm up the cars? Did PDRA bring some fuel down? What was happening in those conditions of going to the staging lanes and the cars being fueled up?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a little off at the first race. I don't think anybody was prepared for it, but I mean, I know they did it years ago in IHRA, I've been told, and it was no big deal. I mean, we had you could put gas in to warm them up, and then you needed to pump them down. The problem is you're not going to get every drop out of the tank. It's just not going to happen. So, I mean, I think it's a good step in the right direction what they're doing. I don't think they really have the manpower to fuel check everybody, after they make a run, or even just fuel check them when they come into the lanes and check them quick and then let them put the hoods back on. But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people weren't happy with it, and it's kind of I guess it could be a pain when you're rushing, but they did a good job at Virginia. They brought us up a little earlier, got them fueled, things ran smoother. So they're definitely moving in the right direction. I think they just need to stick with it and really start checking the cars out and looking over them. And I have no issue personally for them to do anything. I mean, we've been fuel checked a dozen times this year. So, I mean, I'm okay with them checking it. It doesn't bother me at all.
Speaking of fuel, do you find a difference from particular brands at all? Is there a difference from, let's say, a VP, a Sunoco, or have y'all been able with the rules to stick with a particular brand? Or did you happen to having to run a different brand when the PDRA started this fueling in the lanes?
I mean, we have used C23 in the past. We've been using the Q because that's pretty much what Sonny wanted us using in the motors. It's supposed to have a little more power. I have never seen any power advantage between Q or C23. Honestly, I like the C because the car starts up better, but I haven't noticed nothing. I think they just made it the Q, the fuel to use, so it was easier for them to know what everybody was using to check it. Because if you got guys on C23, it might take them longer to figure out if they're putting something in the tanks or they're not. But I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me. If it's one of them fuels, it's fine.
So speaking of like adding something to the fuel, what are we talking about? Would adding methanol work? Is it some other type of additive? What would be out there in the gray area, the cheating area, if someone was adding anything to fuel? What type of element would we be talking about?
Honestly, I used to race with alcohol, and you could do whatever you wanted, but we don't run with that. So I don't know what you really can put in with the Q. I think being an oxygenated fuel, there's probably something out there that can be used, but I honestly have no idea what you could put in there without hurting the motor or blowing things up. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure there's something if you talk to VP or one of them that there's an additive out there. I mean, I've heard of different things in the past people try to use, but eventually it's going to get you. It's going to bite you. It's either going to blow them up, kick the rods out, or do something when you're trying to put it in the oxygenated fuel. And I think that's why they stuck with that fuel, because there's probably more you can do with a C23 than you can in the Q fuels.
Eventually, I would agree with you. Eventually, something somewhere is going to be hurt, and you have that infamous spot of flames coming out of the hood scoop of a naturally aspirated car, as happened in the early 90s in the NHRA. We won't go no further on that one. But it can happen. It's out there with Mountain Motor, Extreme Pro Stock, you being champion. Y'all going to take some time, let it soak in, work towards the 2022 season. The PDRA has announced its schedule. We basically have the same schedule as last year. Does that excite you? Does that give you a little breathing room that, hey, there's not another new track to check out, there's not a new track to test? Does that work, or do you wish there was a couple of different other venues on the schedule for next year?
No, I mean, I'm happy with all the tracks. I mean, MIR was probably one of the toughest tracks for us, and we went there and overcome it and got a win there. So that was probably the worst one on the schedule. The rest of them we've done well at. Other than Kentucky, we struggled a little bit at Kentucky, but that was more driver than anything. So no, I mean, I'm content with it. I'm sure that some of the other guys aren't happy that we're going to go back to tracks where we've done good. And it'll be a new year, and everybody's going to be chomping to make sure that we're not, going to go rounds or go anywhere, but we're just going to stay quiet and just keep working and see what happens and try to repeat and, win as many races as we can. And that's kind of what it's all about. As long as we're having fun, it honestly doesn't matter how it shakes out at the end of the year. As long as everybody's enjoying it, the family and the crew, that's pretty much all that matters.
Well, speaking of having fun, speaking of the family and the crew, talk to us about going to the races with your family. You bring all the daughters, and you've got the wife along, and you got the son along. And when will he possibly be moving into one of these type of cars, or see him regularly in something at the PDRA? So what's it like having family there at the track? And it's not just you and crew guys; it's the whole gang, because it is an entire gang. Like if you mess with the Powers gang, it's like 20 people over there.
Yeah, I mean, well, the daughters, they keep me humble when I'm there. They, everything I've taught them in life growing up, they kind of turn it on me and use it against me to make sure I stay quiet and don't say nothing. Normally I would be a little outspoken, but I've kind of quieted down this year and just kept to myself and stayed away from everybody. And so that's worked out good having them along. And the wife takes care of a lot and, just tries to keep me relaxed and calm and, pretty much tell me you got this all the time. And, but I don't know about the son. We'll see what happens with him, what he's going to do. I mean, he's definitely a big asset to the car, working on it. I mean, he does all the tranny, the rear end stuff. He pretty much does, I would say, the whole back half of the car on his own now. So we've taught him everything to teach him to, so he understands how everything works. I guess it depends on when I decide that I'm done driving, whether he's going to get in or not. So the 2-car thing is just way, way too hard for us to do. We have the engines to do it and the cars, but it's a huge expense. And normally when you bring 2 cars, you're going to suffer. It's really hard to run 2 at a high caliber. I mean, you might get through the first round or so with 2 cars, but once you start narrowing down, things are going to get harder when the time gets shorter to get them turned around.
At Virginia, the way qualifying shook out, all top 3 in points, the ones with the mathematical chance to win the championship, and obviously you, the points leader, you all were on the same side of the ladder, which seems kind of rare in a points battle. Was that strategic? Did it just shake out that way? And then beyond that, we also have a very interesting rule in PDRA, which came about with the 14th place qualifier, that if you intended essentially to make a qualifying run, but it's rained out, you are put in the show, which is different from many other sanctioning bodies from what I understand. What do you think about that rule? And was there any strategy you think going into play of stacking the deck that all the players for the championship were on one side of the ladder?
Yeah, I don't know. I was out for dinner. We were down there at the Italian place eating, and my phone started blowing up and telling me what was going on, the way the ladder just shook out. I mean, I don't know. I don't agree. I think you should have to stage the car at least to be entered into the race. But, I don't know. I guess – if the car was there, it was already paid for an entry and had a card, I guess you let them race. But I know that's not how it works anywhere else. But PDRA has some rules that I don't agree with. But, that's the banner we run under, and I have to accept it. And if I know that's how the rules are, I got to just go with it and, not let it get to me. But, yeah, it definitely shuffled them up. And I had no issue running either of them in round 1. whether it would have been JR, if that's how it shook out to get him in round one. I mean, he was uncharacteristically, in the back of the pack. I think they were having some issues with some motors and stuff, but I had no issue running any of them in the first round. We were set to go and just made a soft hit in round one and then turned it up as we moved through the rounds a little bit.
Are you the type of competitor that, hey, you're like, let me get it out of the way, look, I know racers love to say, I don't care who I'm racing in the other lane. And then I see all you pro stock drivers like have epic staging duels with people. So something's got to be up. So again, are you one of those type that like, hey, let's get it out of the way? And I know where I'm at. I'd rather go ahead and face you, not think about it and be done with it. Or are you trying to play it out where like, nope, doesn't matter who's in the lane?
Well, I'd like to get it out of the way early because round one, nothing really gets to me in the first round. I'm pretty quiet. So I'm ready to go. Normally, as I move into round two, that's kind of when things, or three, I start putting stuff in my own head and screwing myself up. Virginia, honestly, probably running a back player car in the first round was probably worse. Just because, you just don't know what's going to happen there. Knowing that if I would have ran car in round one or Johnny, I know what I'm going to get. I know they're going to throw everything they got at me. And, you're prepared for it. You know what they got. But if you get another car that typically isn't a front runner and you got them, there's a shot where you just might make a mistake and you're out for, and you didn't expect it. But, yeah, I was definitely looking forward to car. I think the way the ladder would have shook up, I think we possibly would have had him in round one. Which would have been a wild first round for sure, to say the least, but it worked out good. They got to settle the score between Johnny and Pacino. And, after I seen how it shook up, I knew I just had to stay one round in front of either even or a round in front of car. And, I knew it was over with that. So as soon as we got out of round one and got to round two and I seen, car got ducked out with Pacino, I already knew I had 3 rounds, and with the wins, I knew it was over already. So everything dropped. Obviously, you see when we ran Elijah that, there was nothing. Obviously, we wanted to win the race at that point, and the stress and pressure kind of just rolled off, and that was the end of it. And, you could see it. The performance lifted, and, we didn't have to play it as conservative, as we did going into round one and not throw it away.
So obviously at Virginia, you going through the rounds and you can see those moments like you just described, and you're like, okay, we got this. Was there any other moment earlier in the year, though, that no matter what came up, gave you the confidence for you and your team, the family, hey, we can get this done and we can win this championship in 2022? Was there any particular moment that stands out that says, yes, we overcame this, therefore we can overcome anything else, we can get it done?
I would say MIR. When we won at MIR, that's a track where I've done good with the dragster, but we've got our butts whipped at that place over the years, and we couldn't do anything. So when we won there, we knew that, we had a shot, and the lights and consistency was already going together. And, at that rate, we knew things were going to move in the right direction, and we knew we were heading into Maple and tracks where I've done really well at home tracks. And, it's never a lock. We're just trying to pick away and get a round or two at every race over everybody and just keep moving forward. And that was our attitude all year, but we never let the championship get in the way. We always stuck to winning races, and things would shake out however they did at the end. And that mindset really played out and helped because, when you start point chasing, it kind of doesn't work out real well for you.
Chris, look, thank you for your time tonight. I'm going to give you the floor one last time before I bring on Ken, Funny Car Chaos Champion, in this Champions Night on Between the Slicks. That is, give you the floor just to say thank you and give us a precursor to the champion speech at the banquet.
I've definitely got to thank a lot of people, everybody that's helped us out to get where we are, especially Sonny Leonard. This year has been all about him for us. And, that's mainly going to be the banquet deal. This is for him, his wife, his daughter Kelly. We did this all for them. It meant the world for us as a team to make sure everybody knew who Sonny was and what he's done for the sport and will continue to do for the sport, even though he's gone and not here with us anymore. But he'll always have a seat in the side of my car to ride with us. So I appreciate everybody and all the fans and everybody that's came out over the season. And we're excited for a new chapter with the new car.
Boom. There you go, Chris. Well, look, congratulations once again to you, and congratulations to Sonny's Engines. It's interesting how the engine builders take so much pride, like in particular with Extreme Pro Stock. It's so good to see, and I know they are thrilled over there with everything they've gone through. That one of their power plants steamed on to a championship, and you were able to drive them to it. Congratulations, man! Thank you for being on the show once again.
Yep. Thanks for having me. Have a good night.
Take care, Chris. Folks, Chris Powers, PDRA Extreme Pro Stock Champion right there. Well, we're not done with this Champions Night, and hopefully we're going to have a few other Champions Nights ahead of us. Maybe we can get the champion of Pro 632 on, speak with Wes DiStefano, and maybe we can have some champions from some other series that's come on, and maybe even eventually have the champions of the NHRA on. We will see right here on Between the Slicks, the most diverse drag racing talk show there is, who we will get. Definitely, I do plan on having the Southeast Gasser Association champions on once again. And by the way, nowhere else are you going to hear the Southeast Gasser racers and even Quayne himself live. It happens right here on Between the Slicks. Well, we're going to take a break. Get your questions ready for Ken Singleton, Funny Car Chaos champion. He will be up next right after this break, this word from Powerbuilt Tools. Powerbuilt Tools exemplifies innovation in the tool industry. From hand tools, power tools, and even tool storage. Check out powerbuilt.com for Powerbuilt Tools. And remember, use promo code MMR15 for 15% off at purchase. All right, folks. Ken, can you hear me? Ken, if you can hear me, I can't hear you. You are muted on your side. So we got a little bit of technical difficulties here, folks. We'll see what gets worked out. But hey, Ken, you do look good over there. Wow, I love the funny car in the background. Got the big check champions back there. Oh, all right, we should be able to hear you.
Yeah, you hear me
all
now?
Right, boom. There we go. There we go. Man, again, as I was saying, waiting for you to get unmuted. You look good over there. Champions check, funny car in the background. Got the team shirt on. Looking fly, man. And look, congratulations on winning it all in 2021 in the chaos. Let me start with this before we get to the championship run. Why? Because I know people are going to ask, why run Funny Car Chaos?
Funny Car Chaos is when it came out in 2018, we were running Outlaw Fuel Altereds out of Texas, and always wanted to run a funny car. And when Chris Graves put that together, I said, this is our chance. I mean, we could go run a funny car. So, and we haven't backed up at all. It's been exactly what I thought. Chris Graves has really put together an awesome series. Great racers. Really, it's just an awesome venue, great crowds, and tough competition.
It is tough competition out there, and competition that ranges from many, many different combinations in the funny car ranks. So, one, tell us what in particular your hot rod, what is the combination, what's the body you're running, and I've got a photo, I'll bring it up. But tell us your combination, and tell us also what combination out there shocks you the most.
Our combination is an alcohol funny car. We have a Hadman chassis, Monte Carlo body. We run a Brad Anderson fathead, FTI converter, Lenco drive transmission. Pretty much what would be in a modern pro mod. We're just running it in a funny car. It works awesome for the 8th mile, and we've had great success with this combination. Really, I mean, the nitro cars are always very unpredictable. They can run really fast. They make more power than we do, but we're more consistent than they are. So it's just to see who comes out on top.
Right. Classic battle of can all this power get down the track over the more consistent cars. And that played out so great at the Nitro Madness event earlier this year, where there was nearly 70 something funny cars. Now, I can't recall if were y'all at that event earlier this year? I can't remember seeing the car.
Yeah, we qualified 6th in the A field, and I got took out by Dale Worsham in the semis.
Dale was on rails. If there was anybody that was going to do it, it was going to be Dale until right there at the final round. And again, that's the beauty of funny car chaos. You just don't know what's going to happen and the 8th mile. And because if it was quarter mile racing, Dale probably would have won that race even there too. He pedaled it and he was catching up, but because of the stripe being at the 8th mile, he didn't have enough time over Mr. Smith because of the consistency of that car. So, yeah, what did you think about that wild event there in Texas with nearly 70-something funny cars overall?
That was a crazy event. It lots of cars, lots of spectators. Who would ever think you could run a Dale Worsham in an alcohol funny car? Great venue. I'm sure it's going to get bigger. You know, Ennis is an awesome racetrack. It's fun to race there, and we look forward to going back. I'm sure I'm going to have to run somebody like Dale Worsham again, but it'll be fun going back.
Well, speaking of running someone like Dale Worsham again, I'm curious. Even look, y'all have a great crowd with like the Blue Max coming out, yourself, so many unique cars within the funny car ranks. It is a cool crowd without any big show personalities. But what are some names? What are some characters that you would love to come down to Texas and race with you all at the Funny Car Chaos Funny Car Classic coming up in 2022?
I really don't have any specific people I'd run. I mean, my hero's John Force, but I doubt if John Force comes and runs with us. But everybody's great and everybody's tough. They're out of 70 cars. There's a lot of tough cars, and you just got to be on your game to go rounds.
Definitely, you do. And we obviously are talking Funny Car Chaos here, but do you race in any other sanctioning bodies in particular? Do you run any NHRA regionals, national events, or is it strictly right now for you Funny Car Chaos?
No, I just strictly run the Chaos. Our car is kind of set up for this, and we're having so much fun doing this, it's kind of hard to do anything else.
Hey, that's the key there, man, having fun. And the Chaos crowd definitely knows how to do that. Have fun at a race weekend and then go out there and race and enjoy it too, and do racing hard as well. Well, look, we are definitely going to talk about the championship run. I want all the details because I wasn't able to follow the Chaos as much as I would like to. I got the big event in at Texas, and then I got Nitro Chaos at Eddyville in, which is a spinoff, but wasn't able to get any other Funny Car Chaos event in, though I'm hoping next year will be completely different on that front. So there have been some announcements made, like today, and we have got now on the schedule State Capitol Raceway, going to be out there for the Cajun Nationals, the Chaos Cajun Nationals, almost just after the Funny Car Classic at the Texas Motorplex. So, yeah, what's your thoughts about running out there in Baton Rouge, and have you ever been to the track with the funny car before?
I have never been there at all. but looking forward to going. It'll be a new place we've never run before, so that'll be a little bit of an experience just because you need to test or figure out the track. But looking forward to going. New tracks. It'd be cool.
I love going to new tracks because there's new food. That's what I like. There's always new food, like what's on the menu or in a different region, what's popular. Like I loved at Eddyville, they had Frito pies in the bag, still, and I was like, oh, and it was good Frito pie too. I love Frito pies. Mom was born and raised in Texas, so I know some of those Midwest Western things and not just the Southeastern things, but definitely I like going to the new tracks for the food, and if anyone ever sees me, you'll know why. But looking forward to that one. We know we've got Eddyville on the schedule again. First time I ever went to Eddyville was this year for that Nitro Chaos event. What's it like running at Eddyville? Beautiful little 8th mile track, but very interesting shutdown with the possibility of eating some corn if things don't go right. So what's it like racing there?
Oh, Eddyville's it's a neat track. Fans are cool there. A lot of the tracks we run are little smaller tracks. You have just outstanding fans. That's really one of the perks, that if you're a driver, the fans. But racetrack is a cool racetrack. We haven't ever won Eddyville. We run it up there this year. But yeah, it's got a little bit of a short shutdown. So you need to be all over the chutes when you cross the line, because if you either eat corn or make a pretty good right turn. So I've went around the right turn pretty quick before.
Yeah, he's talking about the circle track. There's like this circle track they don't use anymore that they did some drifting and karting for. And you got two options. You can take corn, which is like down a hill, or you can try to make that turn. So either way, it's a little hairy. But hey, hopefully 2022 you can get that win and mark Eddyville off the list. And look, out of the tracks we just mentioned, and obviously the Texas Motorplex, when you're racing there, you're racing on the biggest and one of the most grandest stages that drag racing has to offer. What track do you look forward to the most to go to and race in Funny Car Chaos? Because as you mentioned, it is a unique collection of tracks in Texas and Nebraska and Iowa, now Louisiana, so in that central part of the country. But what's one that you look forward to the most?
Well, Ennis is my favorite track because we run the fastest at Ennis. After Ennis, there's like 3 or 4 that are like really, really fun racetracks. Eddyville, Mocan, and Kearney, Nebraska. All 3 of those tracks are really good tracks, and we run good at all those tracks. so that's always a plus.
That tends to be how people choose like their favorite track. They run well there. You go there, you run well, you got some confidence, and I bet the food tastes better, the grass looks greener, the track, even if it was junk, it's like we know how to get down here, we love it. So if you run well, that track just rises and becomes that much more of a better track to go to and visit. Let's see. So Waterbug 85 asks, is that your championship funny car behind you? And I would say more likely it is. That's why it's in the picture, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
and look,
I've owned it.
Go ahead.
I bought it in 2013, and I run it as an altered and a funny car. But it's been very good to me, and I bought it from a drag racer named Jimmy Jones. Jimmy Jones won some Division 4 stuff with it, and Jackie Stidham owned it before that, and it won some Division 4 championships with it. So this car has been in the winner's circle a lot.
Well, being in the winner's circle a lot is important. I'm gonna keep you full screen right now because I want to do some bragging. I mean, man, look at yourself. Team shirt, got the sponsor hat on, the cars in the background, got the check on the trailer, NGK banner. I mean, looks like y'all ready to race or do a media shoot just like you're doing right now. So kudos to you. You look good, man, like really professional. Really professional.
Well,
Hey, you're doing a better job than some of the NHRA guys I've had on here in your funny car chaos. Cool.
Well, I'll tell you what, without all the sponsors, we really couldn't do this. So, it's the sponsors keep us doing it, and we actually do it for the fans. So, that's what it's all about.
Well, Joe Ferguson Singleton chimes in and says that your food always tastes good no matter where you're at because your girls do the cooking. So with that being mentioned, look, I know family is a huge part of racing, and especially at the funny car chaos level. So I know let me go ahead and just give you the opportunity. Brag on your family and friends and the people that are helping you out.
Okay. Well, I couldn't do it without my wife. My wife is our stat girl plus part-time backup girl. This coming year, she's going to put me in the beams. My oldest daughter is kind of the team manager. Yeah, there you go. My mom sells our t-shirts. She does all of our t-shirt sales. My brother, he's my crew chief. His wife, Tammy, also backs me up. And then my crew, we have Bob Raber, Bowie and Double D, and now we got Rick Fleener and Earl Groves. All of them are a part, and all of them's been with me a long time. So without them, I mean, we can rebuild this in between rounds we have to, and I don't have to tell them anything. I mean, they know how to do it.
Well, great for the family members to make a appearance really quick and embarrass Pops there.
Yeah.
But no, look, family and friends, they make it all possible, and it's so good you can go do and race and enjoy it. And again, I've noticed with the Funny Car Chaos gang, they are racing hard, but they are having fun. There's times when I go to NHRA events and I'm doing my thing, social media there for some teams. I'm looking at other teams and I'm thinking to myself, are y'all having fun? Like, you're going over 300 miles per hour burning nitro, doing something that 0.5% of the population will ever be able to get near, and you're not enjoying. Something's wrong. You got to enjoy it. And look, with mentioning that, how long have you been enjoying drag racing? How long have you been racing? How'd you get in it and get to this point where you can be Funny Car Chaos champion?
Well, I started out in drag boats. Back in 1998, I bought a boat, decided we was going to go do a little drag boat racing. And in 2000, I built a pro alcohol flat, top alcohol flat. We run that from 2000 to 2007 and won 2 IHBA World Championships, set the world record, lapse time record. And then in that length of time, we won 3 SDBA top alcohol flat championships. And then in 07, I quit and crew chiefed a boat until 12. And in 12, actually, Jackie Stidham asked me one day, he said, you need to come over here to my house. He said, I got something to show you. So I go over there, and this chassis sitting in his floor, and he's like, you need to buy this car. He said, I think you could do well with this car. So we sat around and talked about it for a little while, and me and my wife, and said, yeah, we're going to do this. So Bob Raber jumped on board with me, and we bought this car and started running the Altereds, and had a lot of fun. And then, like I said, in 18, we started running the funny car and hadn't looked back, found out where we needed to be all along, was in a funny car.
In the funny car and winning championships. And let's talk about that championship finally. Enjoyed the conversation up to now, getting to know and learn more about you and Funny Car Chaos and the perspective from it, and having appearances from family on camera. Always enjoyable to learn those things. But in particular, the championship 2021, and you're the champion. Your team are champions. I learned from Chris Graves that It was a fight, though, between you and Kirk Williams, from what I understand, kind of trading blows through the 8-event season. And it began there at Nitro Madness. You went out in the semis, as you mentioned, to Dale Worsham. Walk us through the rest of the year to the end in the city of where is the Alamo Raceplex, Alamo Raceway? Is it in San Antonio or is it outside?
Well, it's on the interstate in between San Antonio and Seguin. So
there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, walk us through it, man. What was that run like to get this 2021 championship?
Well, we had won the championship last year, so we had a target on our back, but the Motorplex went well. I mean, I was not unhappy losing to Dale Worsham. If you're going to lose to a big show car. We ended up going. I got to think about how the schedule went. We went to Amarillo, and we won Amarillo, but we were against Kirk Williams there in the final. And then we go to Odessa. In Odessa, we struggled a little bit in Odessa. We didn't run as good as we should have, but we did make it to the final, and the final got rained out. So we ended up running the final in Eddyville. So then we went to Eddyville, and Eddyville we run pretty good, but Kirk's running real good. I mean, we're both within 100th of each other. I mean, when we're running almost every round and qualifying, he's either one or I'm one. I mean, really almost the whole year. And we go to Eddyville, and we run the final in the second qualifier, and Kirk beat me. And I was like, well, that's all right. We can win this race. And sure enough, me and Kirk's in the final again, and he treed me again and beat me again. So he beat me twice in a row. But then we ended up going to Kearney, Nebraska, and we qualified number one. And same deal. Kirk was in the final, but I beat him. And then we go to Kansas, same deal. I'm number one, he's number two. We end up in the final against each other, and I beat him. So when we left Kansas, I'd pulled back into the points lead. And then we go to Mocan, and Mocan was the same deal. I mean, it's just me and him neck and neck. And I ended up beating him in the final and qualifying number one. So we're going into the last race, and Kirk could still beat me, but he needed to win, and I needed to go out first round. So our goal was to win first round, you know, and we did. We won first round, so that sewed up the championship. And then Kirk ended up going to the final. We lost in the semis. We had a mechanical issue in the semis, and ended up. It was pretty rare for us, but it happens, I guess. We forgot to do something, and the car was leaking fuel. So, but Kirk ended up going to the final, and then I really don't know what all happened there, but they didn't even run the final either. It was oil on the track or something. It ended up splitting the money, but Kirk was the fastest. He was actually qualified above me at the last race. So, like I said, it's really hard to split these cars. His car and my car, they're almost identical in the ETs they run in mile and hours.
Well, man, look, that was a stellar rundown of your championship run. You got a good memory, man. And what a fight it was. And, hey, I know it had to be a huge relief to finally get that round win and be like, this is over. This is done. We're champions for another year in a row and making a statement. And, hey, man, look, you know, you got that much more of a target on your back now. It's bigger.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope you enjoy it in 2022.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy it. We're all pretty excited about. We got a lot to do this winter and got some things we still got some things up our sleeve for next year. So, in fact, we're going to take another week off, and then it's going to be back to the grindstone trying to get things ready for March.
Man, look, glad to hear y'all are going to take some time off, let it soak in, but get right back to it because you know the competition gained on you and you need to gain back on the competition. Good to hear that for sure. Well, Ken, look, thank you for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it. Before we do let you go, tell folks where they can follow you, how they can get in contact with you, how they can sponsor and partner with a at least two-time. You might have more for all I know.
I'm
Funny
three-time.
Three-time. There
I'm
we go.
actually
See,
three-time.
I didn't dive in enough. I should have looked deeper than that. But three-time Funny Car Chaos champion. So right there, I see you've got at High Risk Racing 4106. So is that the Instagram tag?
Yes, sir.
All right,
And then
Instagram right there, folks. And Ken will fill us in where else you can follow him. So go ahead, Ken.
Well, we're also on Facebook. We love for people to follow us. And my daughter, she will post almost every week videos and just follow us. You can keep up with us pretty good. I really need to thank all the sponsors that we had this year. We had Stock Car Fan Nation, Maxima Oil, NGK, Bates Repair, Cabin Wrecker Service, Auto FX, CP Carrillo, FTI Converters, Crow Thing Apparel, Marshall Auto Parts, Gusset Performance. Oh, Hussey Performance, my bad. Bikes by Bowie and Boyd Singleton Welding. All them make all of our stuff worthwhile. But follow us on Facebook. I don't know a lot about Instagram. My daughter does all the Instagram stuff. But and if you want to, anybody can message me, or I'll be more than happy to talk to people.
All right. There you go, man. There you go. Well, thank you for being on Between the Slicks and allowing me to continue to have a diverse drag racing talk show, speaking to individuals from such as yourself, Funny Car Chaos. Ken, again, congratulations, and I hope you enjoy the target that you've got on you for 2022.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, Ken. Have a good night.
You too.
Folks, Ken Singleton, Funny Car Chaos champion for 2021, and sounds like he's getting ready to make a run for 2022. Mark Burdett, hey, that's a good racer in his own right. It's actually my cousin, 864 Speed Shop. Check that out. Does some great work there in Anderson, South Carolina. Sure, Mark, we'll be swinging by the upstate soon. We'll definitely do that. Ladies and gentlemen, look, another great show, if I say so myself, right here Between the Slicks, providing you with a diverse look at drag racing. And I just got a message from Ken. Check out www.highriskracing.com. You can find more information there, and I'm sure find those links to all the social media platforms. Give him a follow, give him a like, give a share or two as well. Folks, I'm the Monday Morning Racer. This weekend, I've actually got some sprint car racing I'm going to be going to Friday and Saturday night. The Carolina Sprint Tour, going to be filming them. Their last two races of the year. They will be crowning champions as well. Looking forward to that. But we will soon be back at the drag strip. I definitely hope to be out for the Southeast Gasser Association final race there at Shadyside, Shelby, North Carolina, and at Pomona. And after that, we'll see what else is up. Hopefully get some shop tours scheduled and get on the YouTube channel. By the way, subscribe there, like the Facebook page, follow on Instagram, and you can follow me on Twitter as well. Just search Monday Morning Racer in the Google machine, and you'll find it all. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, I'm the Monday Morning Racer. God bless, and keep the pedal